So with that, we bring in Kayleigh McEnany, co-host of Outnumbered, of course, and former White House press secretary. Kayleigh, great to have you with us today. We will follow this news as it happens
Martha.
out of the White House. Well, thank you. You know, much has been said about these videos. What do you think, as a former press secretary, of the fact that Karine Jean-Pierre kind of put it on the press? She said, this is your fault. These are being manipulated. They're cheap fakes, which suggest that they were somehow altered.
Yeah, you know, my mind immediately went to what the prep session was like in the White House that day. I mean, I've sat there in the White House press secretary's office. You have this wood-burning fireplace. You sit there with your aides, in my case, for hours and hours and hours. And people will bring up ideas or, you know, facts, graphs to prove the point you're trying to make at the podium. And I can't imagine if an aide said to me, let's call this video of President Trump a cheap fake. And me thinking it's a good idea to carry that to the podium, you would have been laughed out of the room. Jim Acosta likely would have shouted me down. So just the audacity to say what you were watching with your eyes, which, Martha, it's very important viewers understand. These come, not the Obama one, that was a campaign event, but the ones you're watching come from pool feeds.
Right.
In some cases, the footage used is from White House feeds. These are not operatives hiding in the bushes. These are official channels for which we get information from the White House press corps.
Yeah, there's one more here. I don't know that this one is really so bad. This is the president sort of shouting back at reporters in the Oval Office. Let's just watch this real quick.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, will the lack of a war cabinet are you worried about the war cabinet? Are you worried about the war cabinet?
I mean, I think he's just kind of making fun of the press there. They do sound like, you know, sort of a cackle of geese in the room, and I think he was just making fun of them, Kayleigh.
I think that's right. Those are pretty awkward moments. They do get very loud, and he's clearly laughing back, bantering back. I'm not sure he enjoys those moments, but to be fair, I'm not sure any president enjoys those moments where there's this ferocity coming at them.
Let's take a look at this poll on mental soundness, because, I mean, this is the question that's raised by all of these. And, it feels like it's hammering the same point. But by the same token, this is what we're hearing and seeing in these poll numbers. Do Biden and Trump have the mental soundness to serve effectively as president? This is a Fox News poll mid-May. 41% say yes, Biden has the mental soundness. Only 50% say yes, Trump has the mental soundness. We're talking about a 78-year-old and an 81-year-old here. I don't remember a time when this was a central issue in a presidential race, Kayleigh, but it is now.
It is in every single poll. I mean, the Fox poll is not a one-off. Every one you look at shows the same thing, that a majority of Americans, a plurality of Americans in some cases, do not believe that the president has the mental acuity. I've even seen polls with Democrats where pluralities of Democrats think that, you know, he shouldn't be the nominee for that reason. So when the American people are making this assessment, you have to ask why. When the special counsel, Robert Hur, the only individual who has sat with him in long form to that extent, because he doesn't do interviews, if he does, they're short, Robert Hur sat with him for hours and said, you know, the same assessment. Right. He was older. He was not entirely with it. We can all read the transcript, but denying reality, it's just not the best strategy in this case.
So we're about a week away from the big debate on June 27th, the first presidential debate. And here is a new ad that the Biden team has put out. And I think we're going to hear quite a bit more of this. Let's give everybody a taste of what the campaign looks like.
This election is between a convicted criminal who's only out for himself and a president who's fighting for your family.
Effective message for Joe Biden?
I think for his campaign to do that, that's one thing. For it to be in an ad, they're leaning into the only thing that they have. I think it would be folly for President Biden himself to lean into the convicted felon language on the debate stage. President Trump will weaponize that immediately. He will come in and say, see, I told you these were the Biden trials. It would be a huge mistake for Biden himself to use that language. He might do it. Reporting I've read indicates he may. I just would advise against it because you're playing into Donald Trump's hand there.
Going to be fascinating. Kayleigh, thank you so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.